his very first move as the executive was to sign Lamar Odom, who was on crack.
Wait, who? Phil or Lamar?
Okay, so things are getting even crazier at the White House. Less than a month ago, we had a trans block party paid for by the taxpayers, of course. We had a man on White House lawn showing his fake man boobs to the whole world, bringing an embarrassment to the nation. And now the White House has been caught with the possession of cocaine.
There are a lot of questions tonight after the Secret Service found what's believed to be a bag of cocaine at the White House.
Remember all that stuff they told us in November 2020? The adults are back in the room now. Biden is such a great man. They're going to bring honor back to the White House. Let's look at what Crime Van Jones had to say.
Well, it's easier to be a parent this morning. It's easier to be a dad. It's easier to tell your kids character matters. It matters.
Character matters. This guy is such an ass kisser because we all know Joe Biden has no character at all. This man spent decades in Congress running money to his own pockets, his own bank accounts. As vice president, we know what he did in Ukraine. We saw how he blackmailed them over federal aid, which is taxpayer money, but he blackmailed the Ukrainian government in order to help his son. And when I say help his son, I mean help his son financially because he was about to get in trouble for running money over there. And we see that he has a 4-year-old granddaughter in Arkansas that he's disowning in order to protect his crackhead son, Hunter, which is one of the most scummy things a man can do in life. But yeah, let's get to the story at hand. Secret Service investigating suspected cocaine found in West Wing of the White House, which colored me surprised. A substance discovered in the White House complex that caused a brief shutdown of the facility Sunday evening tested positive for cocaine soon after it was found. They knew the whole time. According to the 2 law enforcement officials in a recording of a radio dispatch from the night, the substance was found in a common area of the West Wing. You see that already? It's a common area. It could have been anybody. Which houses the Oval Office and the offices of some of the president's top aides and support staff. A senior law enforcement official told CBS News that the substance was found in a storage facility in a cubby routinely used by White House staff and guests to store cell phones. The Secret Service will lead a full review of how the substance got into the West Wing, the law enforcement officials told CBS News. I love to see the surveillance. I'm pretty sure they have every inch of this building under surveillance so we can see exactly who had it and where they left it. But I'm pretty sure with the hacked media and the Biden administration, they're going to keep this under wraps, including examinations, consulting cameras and interest logs to determine who had access to the space. The discovery of the unknown item prompted a precautionary closure of the White House. Secret Service spokesman Anthony Guglielmi acknowledged in a statement Tuesday. I think that's how you say his name. Guglielmi said that the DC Fire Department was called to evacuate the substance and determine it was non-hazardous. Further testing is taking place to confirm the substance is cocaine. DC Fire Hazmat personnel who responded to the scene Sunday night can be heard in a recording of a radio message saying that the substance tested positive for cocaine hydrochloride. The message was posted by the website OpenMHZ, which records and archives radio dispatches by police, fire, and ESM agencies. President Biden was not at the White House. Of course, they got to put that in. He wasn't there. What does that mean? That means that he doesn't do coke? Does it mean that he didn't do anything anytime prior? He didn't engage with anybody? It could have been. How do we know how long he's been there? President Biden was not at the White House over the weekend. He and First Lady Jill Biden and members of their family departed for Camp David on Friday. Members of the family, like the crackhead, like the man who loves him some cocaine. They returned to the White House on Tuesday for an event with the National Education Association and 4th of July festivities. So like I said, color me surprised because this administration is so scummy. They've engaged in so much corruption around the world. And he's disowned his own flesh and blood because he's a piece of shit. I'm not surprised at all about this. I'm not surprised that they will find cocaine at the White House. And the reason why I seem like I would actually believe the notion that Biden is engaged with, that Biden himself is engaged with, is because it's par for the course for these politicians. Sex, drugs, alcohol, and running money is so common in Washington, D.C., and they try to keep it under wraps. So there was a congressman last year, Madison Cawthorn. I think he's from one of the Carolinas. But yeah, Cawthorn actually exposed him. He's a young congressman, haven't been there long, but when he got there, they said, hey man, look, we about to go smoke some cocaine over here. We got a bunch of bras over here. We about to have an orgy. You want to come? And he's like, what? And he's like, yeah, we got cocaine and we got bitches. So do you want to come? And I'm not surprised at all by this stuff because these guys, they get paid a hell of a lot of money. A congressman makes, his base salary is around $200,000. Then you have all these benefits, which bumps it up massively. And we know they all engage in activities which makes them millionaires, stuff that they shouldn't be doing. So they're in DC living like royalty on the taxpayer dime, and they do whatever the hell they want to do. Law enforcement is not going to stop them. In fact, a lot of people in law enforcement engage in these activities with them. Here's another example. Eric Swalwell. We remember him, the fart guy. Eric was busted having a sexual relationship with a Chinese spy. He's in Congress on an intel committee getting access to top secret information, but he's pillow talking with a Chinese spy. And what was done about this? Absolutely nothing. He was called out. The FBI went to him. He was exposed by some of his opposition in Congress, and other Congress members actually protected him. Why did they protect him? Was it just because they're all Democrats? I don't think that tells the whole story. I think they're all engaged in this stuff. Like Nancy Pelosi, for example, she was very adamant on protecting him, even though she knew what this man was doing. But guess what? Look at what her husband was doing. Y'all remember that incident? It blew up about Paul Pelosi. Some nutcase was at his house who attacked him with a hammer and all that, but they kept it on the wraps. Everything seemed weird. I'm going to tell you what I thought then. I still think it now. That nutcase was Paul Pelosi's boy toy. You saw this man came to the door to talk to the police officer, had a drink in his hand. He was in his drawers. So clearly they were doing something in the middle of the night. Maybe they were on drugs and the guy went crazy. He couldn't handle it. He probably took a hit of coke and went crazy. And that's why they were keeping it so secret, because they don't want all of it to get out. But they're engaging in this crap all the time. Obama's big party up there at his massive mansion in Martha's Vineyard, because, you know, for some reason, the ex-president is living like a king up there. I don't know where he got all his money for, but that's a different story. So one of the people who took pictures and released videos said Obama was dancing all night. He's never seen him like that before. It was wow. Was Obama on something? I'm just speculating, but I don't know. It just seems real strange. And after that, these people were forced to delete these videos. They haven't been able to get to all of them yet, but yeah, they're trying to protect his image. What the hell is going on? Because these people are engaged in these illicit activities. Sex, drugs, and alcohol. And at the same time, they're all getting rich. Let's take a look at Joe Biden's son, the crackhead. So basically, I believe that people close to Biden, people on his team, are probably doing coke. I don't know if he's still doing it himself at this age. I mean, I'm not going to rule it out, but I really don't know. Then you have a lot of events where people close to Biden, a lot of politicians, a lot of rich people are coming through who are engaged in this type of activity, and they're just doing it at the White House. So yeah, nothing's going to come of this. If this was Trump, obviously this would be 24/7 headline news. What a terrible person. But because this is Biden and the media has the objective to protect him, they're just going to sweep it under the rug. In fact, they're going to eventually say it's conspiracy theory, because that's what they do all the time. So let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Thanks for watching.